Welcome to this explainer. I am literally so thrilled you're here, because today we get to do something incredibly satisfying. You know those flimsy, vague historical arguments you see all the time that don't really say much of anything? Well, we're going to tear one completely down. And then we're going to rebuild it from the ground up using a super powerful 4-part structural framework. So if you want to learn how to communicate your ideas with absolute clarity and undeniable analytical weight, you are absolutely in the right place.
Okay, here is our agenda for today. First, the vague argument trap. Second, repair 1, exact case. Third, repair 2, knowledge claim. Fourth, repair 3, the mechanism. Fifth, repair 4, the limit. And finally, number 6, the rebuilt argument. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The vague argument trap. Why obvious fails. Right, so we're kicking off our teardown with the classic pitfall that shows up in way too many analytical essays. Get a load of this statement. In history, people interpret the past differently. Now sure, on the surface that sounds fine, right? But if you try to build a whole paragraph on just that sentence, you'll just end up rambling about bias and perspective without actually proving a single specific thing. It is a total analytical dead end.
The real issue here is that a statement like this just has zero foundation. It's broad, it's completely obvious, and worst of all, there's no anchor. It's basically just background noise. When you use statements like this, your writing isn't actually making an argument yet. It's just kind of wandering around in generalities. We've got to fix this.
Moving to Section 2, Repair 1, Exact Case, Finding the Anchor.
To fix a flimsy foundation, we desperately need an anchor to hold it down. You can't just talk about history in a general sense. History is massive. Instead, look at these 2 steps. Step 1, identify a highly specific historical event. And Step 2, name the specific interpretation, the exact source, or the exact historian being contested. You've got to pick a precise moment where an interpretation actually changed or was heavily debated.
And this illustrates that fixia beautifully. Instead of vaguely saying people interpret differently, you talk about reinterpreting a very specific political decision because of newly available archives. Or maybe you focus on a debate over the reliability of eyewitness testimony during one particular event. By zooming right in on those concrete, real-world elements, you instantly give your writing the anchor it was missing.
Section 3, Repair 2, Knowledge Claim, Doing the Analytical Work. Okay, so our anchor is securely in place. Now we need to upgrade the actual claim itself. What is a knowledge claim? Well, it's a statement that moves way past just stating the obvious to perform real analytical work. Merely stating that people interpret things differently, yeah, everyone knows that. A true knowledge claim pushes deeper to expose exactly how that knowledge was constructed in the first place.
Listen to how we can upgrade that bland observation into a really robust claim. Historical knowledge can change not only when new sources appear, but when historians ask different questions of existing sources. Do you feel the difference there? That is a sophisticated statement. It carries real analytical weight and gives you something highly substantial to actually prove.
Which brings us to Section 4, Repair 3, the mechanism, naming the why.
Right, so with our analytical claim locked in, we have to pinpoint the exact mechanism that caused the differing interpretation to happen. Just blaming things on perspective is way too broad. You need to name specifically why the interpretation differed. Was it source selection, national perspective, a language barrier, missing evidence, a shifting political context, or maybe a change in methodology? To do good analysis, you absolutely must name the mechanism.
Here is how you put that into practice. Rather than falling back on they just had different perspectives, you deploy a strong mechanism like this. The selection of archival sources changed which voices counted as evidence. Boom! By naming the exact mechanism, your analysis levels up instantly because you're detailing the precise gears turning behind the scenes of the historical event. You're popping the hood and showing how the engine works rather than just pointing at the car.
Section 5, Repair 4, the limit, Constraining the claim.
We are in the home stretch now, but we have to ask a super critical question. When we talk about shifting interpretations, does this example prove that all history is merely subjective opinion? Like, if everything is just perspective, does any of it even matter? That is a very dangerous and honestly incorrect analytical trap to fall into.
The answer to that is a hard no, and setting a limit is how we prove it. Your argument needs to acknowledge that yes, historical knowledge is interpretive, but it is still fundamentally constrained by evidence. Perspective certainly shapes what information we deem significant, but the actual physical evidence limits how far that interpretation can go. Nailing that specific nuance is exactly what gets rewarded in high-level writing because it shows you truly understand the boundaries of your own argument.
Section 6. The rebuilt argument. Time for the big reveal.
We've applied all 4 repairs, so let's look at this night and day transformation. On the left, our starting point. In history, people interpret the past differently. Weak, broad, completely obvious. But over on the right, we've applied our exact case, our knowledge claim, our mechanism, and our limit. And now we have a specific archival reinterpretation shows that evidence constrains interpretation while perspective shapes which evidence becomes significant. We literally took an empty thought and forged a rock-solid argument out of it.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really chew on. When you look at your own work, your own writing, is it just background noise stating the obvious, or are you actively applying these 4 structural repairs, the exact case, the claim, the mechanism, and the limit, to stop being background and start being a genuinely compelling argument? Take this framework, try it out on your next project, and just watch how much your analysis transforms. Thanks for diving into this with me today.